So here at the Tikkunei Elevator Kollel, it's time for the special Zohar that we learned during the period of Elul. And we're going to pick this up. We're looking at very, very beautiful descriptions, and we'll try to get into it a little bit more be'iyun. Now, what we do is always read first to familiarize ourselves the words and repeat them. Of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, these are the words of the Rashbi. Ve'ilun inun nishmasin. So these are the souls, or the neshamas. Me'elin maskilin, from these maskilin. The isbahu seichel the ishtamoda barazin the barechum. That these are people. He's talking about the chevra. The chevra that have the seichel. They have the mind to be able to, my words, to tune into the stream barazim the barechum of the secrets of their master, meaning HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kuhul Rishimin, all of them are stamped, fixed, impressed, umutsuyarim, and formed, b'malchusa de Rikia, kakochavaya de Naharin b'Rikia. So they're all formed up and impressed into the malchus of the firmament, which we have been translating as Yesod. Kakochavaya de Naharin b'Rikia, just like the stars that shine in the sky. That's the phrase, that if they shine like the radiance of the Rakia. So then he says, Maya Rakia. So what you mean by Rakia? What's Rakia? The Naharin bed that they shine into it. He says, Nishmasim de Maskilim Kakochavaya Rakia. So what's shining into the Neshomas of the Maskilim themselves, that shine like the stars in the heaven. Hachi Nahari Bakarsia. So this is how they also shine to the throne. Now, the last part about the Karsia, I'm not sure, and that's so Kochavei Semayim. Okay, that was the wrong part. Oh, that was the right part. Well, he has it in the next section down below, but I don't know. Let's come over and let's look at what we do have, and let's look at it a little bit more deeply. So we're going to be down here in number bet, really. We're going to start number aleph, number bet, and we're going to go through them, and we're going to see what these different ideas are. It looks like there's some arichas on number hey. Let's get the flavor of what's going on. So he said, on the shamos, Rebbe Shimon Darish Ke'ez B'Shivcha. Now the neshamas that he's now talking about, he's explaining what they're like, and he's explaining it in their favor, in their praise. Ilun inin nishmasim ilun maskilin. Elu hein nishamas tzadikim. These are the nishamas of the tzadikim. Shema'osim maskilin, from those maskilin. Shehiskabsu yachved lechibur. They got together in this group. In other words, we're talking about the people that are now listening to this Torah. The Hainu Rashbi v'chaverov. So one part of it is Rashbi and the rest of the yeshiva. The Shah Nishmalsa, the Malsham, and then there's other Nishmal, the other Nishamals, shall stay Hamasiftos, that come from two different Masiftos, two yeshivas, Elul, the Sator, up above and down below. Now, let's just look as we go along, and I'm going to bring this down a little bit lower so we can see this better, Mitzvah. See it a little bit better. So he says, number aleph, the el lukal nishmasam the mesifta the nachsa beinaihu. Now we had seen this phrase before. It's all of the neshamas from the mesifta, meaning that spiritual yeshiva, the nachsa beinaihu, that came down in the midst of the physical human beings that were in Rashi's yeshiva, the Rashbi's yeshiva, and they explained over there. Now let's go to the next one. Sheyardo behifio, they came down and they presented themselves in Beis Medrasho Shel Rashbi, Beis Giluya Soda Se'ela. And when was this? I'm sorry, I'm not showing this to you. Let me read it again. Sheyardo behifio, and showed themselves, the Beis Medrasho Shel Rashbi, Beis Giluya Soda Se'ela, at the time that he's revealing this. So now you have neshamas from a different world. So you have to imagine that when we are no longer in this world, we don't have a body anymore. So it's very difficult for the body to give up the soul. But by the same token, it's very difficult for the neshama to appear in physicality. So here is all of these neshamas who are so tuned in to this stream. They're streaming from up above into a world beyond physicality, and they're able to stream down into the world where it exists. Let's look at number big. So he says, Al pi haber lachai ro'i. Let me see if I got that right. So he says, Al pi haber lachai ro'i. Umosim bevar shekol osim neshama shorsham eloch anitzutzas. That all of these neshamas that we're talking about, now maybe he means those of the human beings and maybe those of the neshamas in higher level, the root of their souls are come from sparks, hameirim b'yisod gezohar makia, that shine in the yisod of Zeir Anpin, and I'm assuming it's Zeir Anpin, but it could be the yisod of the nukva because they go together. So he said, umuvan b'devarav shezehu bir hamila maskilim. This is the explanation of the word maskilim. The Chanish Meforish Shorish Nishmas Osamatamid. And what he's explaining is the root of these neshamas. That is the neshamas of these Talmidei Chachamim, Shehu Machanitzutzas Me'erim B'Yisod, which are the nitzutzas, are sparks that are shining in the Yisod in Olam Atzilus. V'chein Bir Hashas Ratzon, another sefer. Ki minach hasadim ahem hayordeh b'yisod, from these neshamas that go down into yisod, l'mekoach yeridosim, and from the power that it took in order to bring them down sham, mispazrim l'nitzutzos rabos. So that's another possibility. Is that I was saying is that in order for something totally spiritual to come into something physical, then it's a different process. And here is one idea is that this is referring to actually these neshamas appear as sparks. Kol eloch neshamas shalat tzadikim, all of the neshamas that it say them, heim osam and nitzutzos, they, the neshamas themselves, are the sparks. The neshamas tzadikim aboim minitzutzos elos, of the neshamas of the tzadikim that come from these nitzutzos. Enon nishmasim me'elan maskilim. These are the neshamas of these maskilim. That is the chevra. Shehem talmidei chachamim de'is bechem seichel. These are the talmidei chachamim that have the seichel. Now, what the seichel means? Everybody has a mind, but it's a seichel that's fine-tuned to the Nar Sholem, to the river of Kabbalah that is flowing. They ishtamoyed the mareichim, and to become known to their master.Amishtadeh b'chachmas Kabbalah, who is really working very hard on the chachmas of Kabbalah. I guess the master here is Rashbi. Not 100% sure. Let's read on. So after number bet, and we're at the top now, it says, V'hem nikrai maskilim al shum de'is behum seichel, explaining it out, just as he said before, because they have a certain mindset. They to become known. And they have the ability to be able to reach and accept this knowledge. So if you're like me and you're saying these shiurim, and what's happened is that in years past, of course, I'm learning every day, so trying to get stronger, fill in things that I don't know. But there are many people that I started learning with and wanted to learn this, but couldn't finish. They couldn't get into it. Either they at the beginning or after quite some time when they found a place that was really difficult, and then there might be a difficulty in their life to go along with it or whatever, and as a result of that, they don't really get into it. They maybe go a long way with it. You can understand some people who are really bigger Talmidei Chachamim than me for sure, but can't make their way into this because they don't have that aspect of their seichel. So then he said, "B'razin de marechon, but so this Kabbalah shehem sodosu shel Hashem Yisbarach, which are the secrets of Hashem Yisbarach." And there's a little gimel here. And let's see if we have anything down in a little gimel down below. See, so he says, gimel. The Kisei Melech Skosov, in this sefer, it's called the Kisei Melech, writes like this: So this a Kabbalah, Bishir Kuma. I don't know what that means. The secrets of the Kabbalah, in an amount or measurement of Kuma, of a column, Shehem Razim de Marechum, which is this column he's talking about, who's their Anpin de Atzilus. When he said the Marehum, he wanted to know, in other words, a place that you could access, that is possible to be able to reach to this, is this Zer Anpin of Atzilus. Elu ein lamala mechem, and then there's no possibility going, this is the highest that you can get. Ayin lo ra'asa, so it's unseeable, kind of very difficult place. In other words, they're able to plug into a place that other people cannot. So that's the nature of these people. Now let's go on, let's go back up to the top. Let's pick up after number Gimel, and let's go over the Sodas Elul lo yusku ela the me. So he said, but there's a quality. It's not just like a God and God-given quality, but actually it's something, it's only given to the Elamisho Hupshat Kima B'chumriosa. A person who can undress or remove from himself a small amount of his physicality, because after all, we are physical. But tzaddikim, tzaddikim that we're talking about, Maskilim Rashbi, they shine like the shining that comes from the heaven, this heaven which we said before refers to Yisod. Umispashtim mechumrios. So they're able to spread out, or the light that was in it spreads out into physicality. So therefore, that ability to be able to have this knowledge penetrate you is the ability that also allows it to spread into other things. Now, that's a little bit unclear. So let's look at number Dalet down here below, and let's see if we can understand that. So he says, Al Pia Ber L'chai Roi, the Mitzayin the Divrei Arizal, also, you can find it over there, B'Likuti Torah, and he says, V'zel L'shono. Hine Ruach Sa'ara. He says this is such like a hurricane wind, or an east wind that they said a blasting wind. Hamoel al-Chodja, Hamoel al-Chodja. I don't know what that means. Hainu b'hiyos ad-semach betachlis hakatnos, v'hu dovok el-hatit shebekarko, v'haruch miyavesh hatit, v'mafris el shelo yehei dovok bekarko. Now let's go back over this, and this is a metaphor, so it's not so easy. So he says, this is what it says. Hine ruach sa'ara, so that's that blasting wind, that nasty wind. Hamoel el chadash el chodja, el hadasha. Oh wow, hamoel el hadasha. So here he says that when you're winnowing wheat, say for example, you throw it into the air. That is when the semach, that is the plant that you're working with, let's call it wheat or barley or whatever it would be. That semach betachlis hakatnas, so the semach is in a position where it can't be eaten yet. And so therefore it's still, let's say it's stuck still in the ground. Then he said, then what happens is that this ruach, they says it's a ruach sa'ara, which is a nasty wind. It comes along and it dries out the clay, it dries out the ground. Mafri does so, and as a result of that, the plant itself can't stay there. It separates it out, shelo yehei davuk b'karka, so that it's no longer stuck in the ground. Hamat, and then comes rain, u'magadlo yoser, and it reveals it even more. So this is the idea that we want to come and say like this. Now, the metaphor it's a big metaphor because he has a blasting wind, and he has it being knocked out, being dried out. As a result of that, it separates everything out. What's the metaphor going here? He said, Rabbi Yosef became hapshatu. I think at hapshatu. I'm not sure. So what you're trying to say is here is to separate a man who is clinging to physicality, shalom, his physicality. But then after that, he's a little bit removed from that physicality. And for all the action, the politics, and the this and the that, and going back and forth, and the struggles and the problems we have, to separate him a little bit from this world. Now he said, let me get the words right. Davok b'chomer shalo, v'achar shehufrod ma'at. The word is ma'at, is a little bit separated because we stand in the ground. We lay in the bed. We're stuck down here in gravity. So to be able to remove yourself from the gravitational flow of this world, which makes everything combative, he said there has to be a little bit of separation there. And from the other, all the different things that are going on, this that from this idea you can understand the sod. And you're going to grow like the stalks, the grains that are on the grass. Because what happens is that the grass itself, or the kernel, that's not the kernel, the weed itself becomes separated minitit from the ground. The hisgadol, as a result of that, the revivim. Let me look up the word revivim because I don't think I know it well enough. Just hold on 1 second. Okay, I looked up the word revivim, and revivim means drops. So the final phrase, Yochel Lod Sylvia is God could revivim, and he'll be able to grow like drops ale esed that fall on the grass, on the plant. Because here you have moved this little bit of plant. This way, such you have to move a certain amount of your gashmias. His gadol, and as a result of that, these drops of kedusha, person is able to handle it and to be able to grow. Because that's Baruch Fleischman here, doing the best I can with his Tikkunei Zohar, trying to look in more deeply into what you need to be able to do to plug into that Nahar Sholom. I love that word now, to the river of kedusha of Sod. This is Baruch Fleischman.